I want to share with you my outfit that is video recording on top and then casual Sunday best on the bottom. Are you ready for this? Ta-da! Doesn't it go wonderfully? And yes, I tuck all of my t-shirts and tops in because I'm bisexual. Hey spuds, it's Jamie. Welcome back to another video. First video on the channel. I don't know, but welcome either way. And today I am bringing you another installment of LGBT plus related Am I the Arsehole post reading. We're going to the subreddit of Am I the Arsehole, where people share stories and things that have happened to them, things that they've done, things that have been done to, that's what things that happen to them means. Things that have happened to them and things that they have done, and asking if their behaviour in a particular situation makes them an arsehole. Shaba does a great series on this. I would definitely recommend checking out her channel and watching some of her videos about it. I like to have a look every so often at LGBT plus specific Am I the Arsehole topics and have a chat about them with you. Yeah, so that's what we're doing today. But talking of LGBT plus related things, specifically a trans related thing, is my book, The T in LGBT. This is the literal cover. This is the dummy print of the cover of what it's gonna look like. But isn't it fabulous? Oh, I love it. I love the yellow, I love the colours. It's just, oh, I cannot wait for people to read it and listen to it because yes, there is an audiobook and yes, I have read it. And Shaba also read bits of it too, which is very exciting. But yeah, if you do want to check out this part memoir, part self-help guide on all things trans, don't know why my voice went funny on trans, all things trans, then the link is in the description box down below. Thank you so much. I keep doing that like I'm ending the video after I talk about my book in every single video. My thumbs are still up. Yeah, let's get on with that. Am I the Arsehole post now? Am I the arsehole for refusing to change my name because my mum doesn't like it? I feel like straight away from the question, I'm just gonna go in with a tentative, no, you're not the arsehole. Your name is your name. But let's carry on. Let me start this post by stating that I am trans. I've always felt like a girl, but my upbringing was filled with misogynistic and racist ideals passed down from my parents. I discovered I was trans about a year or two ago when I met my now boyfriend. He is also trans. Oh, cute. Okay, I more strongly now want to say, no, you're not the arsehole, because like as a trans person, changing your name and choosing your new name is such an important and personal process that you can let your family in on if you want to, and you can take their guidance. I know lots of trans people who change their name to the name they'd have had if they'd been assigned the correct gender at birth kind of thing. But sometimes it's just not the right name for you, and you have to pick one that you are comfortable with. It is you. It's who you are, it's your name. I'm talking a lot for very early in the post, but that's just my initial thoughts. When I realised this, I decided I wanted to change my name as it was traditionally masculine and I hated it in general. Me and my boyfriend both decided on the name Marcelin/Marcy. I hope I said that right. Marcelin? I think it's a cute name. He says, not knowing if he's saying it right. He suggested the name and I really liked it and thought it fit me. I think that's really cute. I was currently living with my homophobic, racist father. My mother moved to California, leaving me behind in the process. I don't resent her for this, but I do think she should recognise that even if I was fully willing for her to go there, she was not filling that role as my mother, and therefore she would naturally not be there to help me decide my name. I get what you're saying, and also personally I think lots of parents maybe would want to be involved if they're accepting of you being trans, but at the end of the day it is still your name and you can involve other people as little or as much as you want. I can see why some parents would maybe get a little bit upset if they weren't involved at all. Eventually, after my sophomore year in high school, I was able to move out to California with her, and upon informing her of my name, she seemed fine, but said she didn't like it that much. I also feel like it's quite a big thing to share. Like, this is the name that I feel is me, and I like, and I'm comfortable with. Oh, I don't like it very much. I'm sure you'll get used to it. Maybe that's harsh of me. I don't know. I thought at the time, well, I like it, and it seems like she's just not a big fan of the name. Keep in mind, this name is now mine. It has been that way for a long time, and I like my name. She likes to make small remarks about my name, things like how I let a stranger, implying my boyfriend, choose a name for me, and just generally how she doesn't like the name. That's a bit shitty, especially like implying that her boyfriend is a stranger. Clearly not, you know, not to her at least. It sounded more like a collaborative thing, not where it's like, hey, you choose the name for me. He suggested the name and she liked it. Eventually, we go to my new school to get my picture taken for my school ID. She registered me under my preferred name, which I very much appreciate. That's nice. But then upon seeing the ID, she suddenly blew up out of nowhere, screaming at me and coming into my room, before going into my sister's room and yelling at her for some sort of support, despite her being asleep at the time, and taking my phone and laptop for seemingly having the name she registered on my school ID on my school ID. That seems like a very out of the blue reaction. Kind of odd to then like go and wake up your sister to get her opinion and like get her on side, kind of. That's odd. I felt unsafe and unloved, so I left and spent the rest of the day at the library. She eventually comes to pick me up after my sister's boyfriend informs her of where I am. She reveals to me that the reason she doesn't like my name is because it's the name of the woman my father cheated on her with, who happened to be her high school best friend. Drama. So the mum has some unresolved feelings and is struggling to disconnect a negative thing that happened to her with something that her daughter is wanting. I think my response to that personally is like, I sympathize with that. That's a horrible thing you went through. Just because I have the same name doesn't mean I'm the same as this other person that you don't like. Like, you're making that connection. It's my name, it's who I am. It's not my fault that it's the same name as this person that wronged you and has hurt you. This might sound really harsh, but I'm kind of wanting to be like, I feel bad for what the mom experienced and how it makes her feel, but that sounds like something she needs to process and deal with, and not take it out on her daughter or like resent her daughter's name because of her past life experience. Let me know if you agree. I understand that. I understand not wanting my name to be that when I'm picking it, but it's more than a name to me now. It's a large piece of my identity. I can say in full confidence that if she had been there for me as my mother when I was deciding on my name, I would have asked her opinion, but she wasn't. At the end of the day, it just feels childish to me. How can she constantly invalidate my feelings and then ask me to change as if I'm the root of the issue because she can't disassociate a name from one person to another? I think that's fair. You've outlined that your mum could have been involved in the process, but she was not in a position to do so. And if she had been, it sounds like you wouldn't have picked a name that might have caused her upset. But now that you have, that is your name. You did that unknowingly, and it's unfair to expect you to change something that you are so now connected with and that is part of your sense of self. That's a really big deal to request someone change their name or be so openly nasty about the name they have, because after a time your name, like, it takes on a new thing. It's what people refer to you as really such like a core part of who you are. Like, I am Jamie, like that is my name. I don't know how to describe it. I'm so connected to that name. Like, it's so weird. I couldn't imagine being requested to change it or having a loved one be like so strongly and openly disliking of that name. I completely agree with the point of like, because she can't disassociate a name from one person to another. I had very negative feelings over my birth name. It used to make me feel incredibly uncomfortable. I went through a period of time of like not being able to say it or write it out, and every time I saw it, I couldn't help but feel like it was in reference to me, and that was something I had to work through. I couldn't just go around starting disliking or not talking to anybody with that name or just pretending like it didn't exist. And now actually through circumstances, I do have to have that name, my birth name, present in my life sometimes, and it like was a bit odd to begin with, but now I'm like, well, no, because that's not my name, and I can disassociate it from what it meant to me in the past to who it's connected to now. Obviously a slightly different situation, but I think that's what the mum needs to do, like work through her feelings over like, right, this person with this name was shitty towards me in the past and it makes me feel bad, but that's not who my daughter is. Just because she has the same name does not make her the same person. It's about connecting the feelings to the person rather than the name they have. My sister makes a lot of transphobic remarks, shitty, and my mother refuses to defend me even when I directly ask for help. Am I the arsehole? No, I don't think you're the arsehole at all. I say one of the big arseholey things it sounds like your mum did was immediately like run to talk to your transphobic sister. So when she saw your ID, she screamed at you, came into your room, and then went to wake up your sister to get support from her, knowing that your sister makes a lot of transphobic remarks and you've asked for help on that and she hasn't supported you on that. I don't know, but is there some kind of like low-key transphobia going on from the mum here? I'm not sure, but absolutely, categorically not the arsehole in my opinion. Your name, your choice, your life, your identity, that's who you are. It's up to your mum to unlearn the connection that she has with that name from her past. There's many names connected to people that I have been hurt by in my life. Like I've talked about my birth name experience, but like we can all think of people who have names that are connected to different people in our lives that we don't have positive experiences with. But like you have to move past that and say, okay, well, this person called X is not the same as this person called X. I think that's something your mum needs to work through, and I hope hope that she does, because you deserve to stay happy and confident in your name. Yeah, simple as. Let's do 2. Next one. Am I the arsehole for kicking my son out of the house for not accepting my daughter being LGBTQ? I mean, from the title, I want to say you're not the arsehole again. My son is 25 and my daughter is 16, first of all. My son has had no effort to get a job yet and doesn't chat with us most of the time. My wife and I haven't tried to enforce anything yet because we still believed he'd turn sound. This all changed when on Friday my 16-year-old daughter came out as a lesbian, which me and my wife were really happy about this because she confessed she just seemed so much happier than she was before. That's cute. Like, yeah, mate, you're a lesbian. Proud of you. Happy for you because you just seem so chill in who you are, and we love that for you. The great, wonderful response from parents. My son got angry and said he would not accept a daughter that's one of those, okay, and used a not very nice word, and that he feels like people only say they're gay because they want attention. Oh. He's one of those. Then he ran into his room and slammed the door. My daughter got really upset by this and said she didn't understand how he could be this way. That's so fascinating. I've heard a lot about gay people coming out to their family and getting support from siblings or a sibling, but not parents, because the parents have a certain view, and like younger generations are typically brought up to be more open-minded and blah blah blah. I've not heard of it going the other way around, where the parents are like super chill and accepting, and it's the sibling who's 9 years older and is like, no, I don't accept that. Like, that's really odd. Like, I wonder where he's learned that from, because bigotry is learned, so he's clearly picked that up from somewhere that isn't his parents. Between that and the fact that he's 25 years old and trashed our house several times with his friends, I waited a few weeks for this all to calm down, and when he still hasn't apologised, told him that he has 2 weeks to get out or I'm going to kick him out. What happened next was my son got really infuriated and said that I had no right to kick out my son like that, and he was sure that his mum would not be happy. If you've got a kid who's like trashing your house and being a dick to your other kid and just generally being a dick, I wouldn't want to live with them. And he's 25, it's not like he's 15. As it turns out, my daughter straight up said she didn't care. My wife called me an arsehole for not talking to my son about why he doesn't accept her before kicking him out of the house, and that she feels like I should have talked this out with her first. Is his wife also mum to the son? It would depend on the dynamic, or like a stepmom who's had a lot of involvement with parental decisions in the past. I don't know what's going on there. I would say, like, if you are parenting children and you both like discipline and like you make joint decisions on things, that's probably where I would say, like, I maybe would have discussed it with the other parent involved before making a decision like that. But I think it's a bit weird that the son is acting like the true arsehole and is kind of getting turned back on the dad for like sticking up for his daughter. I was only trying to make my daughter happy, but I feel like this could have ruined my relationship with my son. To be fair, I did ask my daughter if I could do this, but maybe I could have talked this out better with my son and wife. Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's like, no, I don't think you're an arsehole because you were sticking up for your daughter, and your son clearly has caused multiple issues in the past and present. And I think if there's any way to mean that your 16-year-old who's just come out doesn't need to live under the same roof as someone who's very homophobic towards her, who's a full-grown 25-year-old adult, like, if you can make that happen, then that's a nice way to support her and not have her feel like she's in a homophobic environment. I probably would have spoken it out with my partner before making that decision, but this is one of those ones where I'm saying not the arsehole over the general decision, but like need more information on the context of how that came about and how it was specifically handled. Still not the arsehole. I feel like it's lacking some detail for a fully informed decision on like the last little bit about whether it was approached correctly with the son and whether it was approached correctly with his wife and things. But you were trying to protect your daughter. You accept your daughter, your son was an arsehole. You will not put up with that in your household because your child should not be subjected to homophobia in their own household. Therefore, homophobe, get the hell out. This is inappropriate. Yeah, I agree with that. That was the 2 LGBT plus themed Am I the Arseholes for today. Thank you very much for watching. What did you think? We can disagree on these things. I want to hear your opinions. I'm not going to be right on everything, and a lot of things are very subjective as well, so I would love to hear your opinions on the situations down in the comments. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. Think about giving a thumbs up and subscribing if you want to, and I'll see you next time. Much love. Bye.